Elsa is pretty athletic for a person that was locked up in her room since she was young until she turned 21. Being part of a major historical event sucks. Infinite scrolling makes addiction to social media 1000 times worse. You probably have a better understanding of how far you can jump in a game than in how far you can jump real life. A chicken nugget is a meatball. And nothing can change that fact. Bad propaganda is something you can identify. Good propaganda is something you think of as the full truth. Star Wars droids are naked when they have their circuits showing, so C-3PO is wearing a crop top. Limousines have gone completely out of fashion and no one has really noticed. Your hand size determines the size of your sign language font. Sarcasm went from being impossible to read in text, to being the underlying theme of every sentence. According to Led Zeppelin, heaven is not handicap accessible. According to AC/DC, hell is. Butts are the only thing you hit to show how much you like them. If Shrek was considered hot when he turned human, then in ogre standards he's mad cute. Detention desks in art school must look amazing. You never think about how many handles are in a building until you are taxed with cleaning them all twice a day. It's a bit weird that every country has a theme song its people have to memorize. Having both stupid and incompetent characters show up in disaster movies ended up being a lot more realistic than previously assumed. As a kid, your bed is in the corner of the room, so you have more room for playing. As an adult, your bed is in the center of the room for the exact same reason. If two people each find the other person's laugh funny, it might result in an endless cycle of laughter. No matter where you go, you never see anyone with the same refrigerator as you. Fame is based on how many people who you don't know you. In an age where people fall for onion articles, believe essential oils cure AIDS, and the news operates under a clickbait model, April 1st is probably the only day where people are less likely to fall for bullshit. Cujo is the only movie where you want the dog to die. Eating ramen with chopsticks is normal. Eating spaghetti with chopsticks is weird. It must be really hard to be an IRS agent with an Indian accent. If someone had told you on April 1, 2019, that a year later the entire world be locked down with thousands dead, you would have thought they were bad at April Fool jokes. Maybe nudists just really don't like doing laundry. The human race is so old to the point where we're already digging up fossils of ourselves. A lawyer's job is to protect you from other lawyers. There could be a bug or animal that camouflages itself so well no human has ever noticed they exist. If there was a button that removed the person who pressed it, along with any memories and traces of them, from existence, we would think that Noon has ever pressed it. Adult cats meow at humans exclusively, so it's reasonable to assume that they're trying to speak but they can't because their mouths aren't the right shape. Conclusion: when you meow at your cat, you're essentially mocking their speech impediment. In video games, it has become a tradition that blue is rare, purple is epic, and orange is legendary, and everyone goes with it. If an actor/actress in a movie you're watching makes you mad/annoyed or want to punch them, they're actually doing a good job. You're never actually taught how to work well in a team. It seems to be presumed you'll pick it up by being forced into the situation. You know, people think you are tall and fat if they ask if you play football instead of basketball. As computer storage has gotten bigger, it has also gotten smaller. It's assumed that passing away in your sleep is a peaceful way to go, but in reality, it could be the scariest possible night terror ever. Most of the bosses in video games are stronger than you, but they don't know how to aim. For supposedly being an emotionless killing machine, James Bond sure seems to fall in love with random women extremely quickly. It doesn't really make sense to even show 100% on a loading screen. April 1st is the day people who aren't funny try to be and end up pissing people off. You know you're getting old when social media trends like TikTok are something you know nothing about nor care to participate in. Out of all the rooms in the house, we keep our toothbrushes in the same room we shit in. The most disturbing thing about suddenly switching bodies with another human is tasting the inside of their mouth. A lot of the people who don't like leaving their house only want to go outside because they can't. The statement "out of sight, out of mind" makes sense until a spider suddenly disappears. It must be even harder reporting a death to someone on April 1st. We are all addicted to sleep and have extreme withdrawals after only a day or two. Snakes probably think garden hoses are statues of famous snakes. Asking someone if they're dead is not a yes or no question. The trend of having a bowl of candy or nuts randomly around the house is dying off. If a psychologist's patient never comes back for another appointment, the psychologist is either amazing or terrible at their job. The Spies in Disguise movie title is a pun on Spies in Disguise, since the main character is a pigeon. Your mom has probably made up an embarrassing baby story about you that never even happened. If you choke on a piece of ice, it really just comes down to how long you can hold your breath. Zoom needs a concert mode that makes the performer loud but puts the audience at 1/8 volume to create feedback for the artist. It's very likely that at some point, someone came into a room you were in and said to themselves, "Damn, everyone here is ugly." The first guy to give his puppy chocolate must have been so sad. It's going to seem weird singing the hand-washing song at birthdays. Banks will only lend you money if you can convince them you don't need it. Your brain isbuc processing myt hufts right now. It was someone's job to program smart watches to not count masturbating as steps. In your lifetime you may have walked by someone that you played an online game with without even knowing it. Gas is cheap as heck and we can't go anywhere. Force Ghost Jotun needed a cane and we all just accepted it. Most people have not used a toaster in a completely dark room. Zombies have unbelievably strong teeth for people with no dental hygiene. The society could practically be on the brink of extinction and the banks would still be charging interest and late fees. Most pets live their entire lives as virgins. Your character's only better than bosses in video games because you get infinite retries. Really, in many worlds, evil one. Animals are living the life they deserve at the moment. The single mom stereotype exists in the dating world only because women are so disproportionately taking custody of children. Everyone thinks they're original until they try to post a shower thought. Tomorrow is April Fool's, but no one on the planet is in the mood for jokes. Everyone probably misses going bowling, but not that much. The planet seems to be healing itself due to lack of pollution. Be interesting to see if we can take notice of the positive effects and try to implement better pollution control, etc. You spend your childhood trying to get your own bedroom, and you spend your adulthood trying to find someone to share it with. Caffeine, nicotine, menthol, and capsaicin are natural pesticides. Humans systematically and repeatedly develop a taste for pesticides. We are the Ralph Wiggum species. We drink blue juice from under the sink. They both die at the end was once a major spoiler for Romeo and Juliet. When you give someone a good official review at their job, it's like giving their career a little XP boost. When someone asks you what's up, responding with all of the above is technically a correct answer. An inhaler is sorta like a real-life stamina potion. If every Walmart worker grabbed a gun, they would the third largest military in the world. We are experiencing one of the rare times where lazy people actually have a better chance of survival than not lazy people. Comedians may get booed if they do old material, bands may get booed if they don't play the hits. If humans shed our skin like lizards, we'd do some really weird shit with the leftover skin. Moses was the first ever person to have a tablet connected to the cloud. Each person's handwriting is a font exclusive to them. If water had drug-like effects on the mind, we'd have no way of knowing. Thirst and dehydration could simply be withdrawal effects from water. Water could be constantly influencing our state of consciousness throughout our entire lives. The back in horseback riding is probably unnecessary. Treat a girl like a celebrity and she'll treat you like a fan. Teeny tiny little pebbles go mostly unnoticed, unless you are a skateboarder. You're taller while doing a handstand than while standing normally. When you're not anticipating a downstep and walks onto it, that small drop step feels like dropping off a cliff. Cats are so unaware of their reign over the internet, maybe being free of ego is what makes them so lovable, We could take some notes from cats. Plants grow better surrounded by literal shit and the rotting corpses of their relatives. If your dad is a lawyer, he is both your father and your father-in-law. Crying harder than you have ever cried will oddly feel almost like laughter. Laughing harder than you have ever laughed comes with more tears than you have ever shed from sadness. Barbers are going to see some interesting haircuts when they go back to work. Insanity is doing the same thing expecting different results, and history repeats itself because people don't care to learn about it and keep making the same mistakes. Therefore, mankind is inherently insane. If everybody dies, nobody cares. If you turn your pockets inside out, everything is in your pockets. With so many unemployment claims, the unemployment office is probably hiring. Kindness is so rare that people mistake it for sarcasm.